Yeah.
All right, it is Bud Light game night. There's an answer to that question, little T. Bud Light game night. We're live at Tin Roof downtown and the Lakeview. Lance Taylor is here. EG, little T. I'm Ryan Brown. Dunaway over in Tuscaloosa. He is doing the Nick Saban show tonight. Hey, Coach. So Dunaway will be with Nick Saban tonight. And we will start the show tonight, first of all, telling you what Bud Light's got going on here tonight, LT.
$3 long necks. That simple. Come see us down here at Tin Roof. Always a fun place. They've got food down here. Of course, buckets of Bud Light, but $3 Bud Lights. Getting ready for a little Navy in Memphis. And, of course, the big one tonight, Minnesota and Philadelphia.
Yeah, Minnesota looking to bounce back. EG's going to walk us through those games. Little T's going to give us some thoughts, too. She's keeping up with it.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. But let's start, Lance, by talking about Tuscaloosa. So there has been this rumor. We've referenced it a couple times throughout the week. There's been this rumor percolating that Tyler Buchner is going to get the start, that Alabama may not permanently go away from Jalen Milroe, but they're going to see what they got in Tyler Buchner in a road trip to South Florida. That rumor and that speculation has gained a lot of steam this afternoon after Alabama has wrapped up their preparation in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, we heard for the last couple of days that Buchner was running with the Ones, or at least getting some reps with the Ones. And now there are some, I don't want to say pretty good sources, but there's some rumors, there's some pretty good sources that Tyler Buchner will start 2:30 in Tampa against South Florida. And I find this fascinating for a lot of different reasons. We talked about it today on the next round. Jalen Milroe was really good against Middle Tennessee State. He had moments against Texas, had a couple of bad turnovers. And if Buchner is starting, that kind of tells me the coaching staff, they really don't know which direction to go in.
Yeah, I think the way I would qualify it is people I trust in Tuscaloosa, they feel like these rumors got a lot of steam. It's as far as I'm willing to go with it. I'm not willing to sit here and say I think Tyler Buchner is starting. But I'll tell you what, a lot of people I trust at Tuscaloosa feel like that rumor's got a lot of steam to it.
Yeah, gun to head, I would say that number 8 is starting.
You would go Tyler Buchner gun
I would.
to head. Yeah.
Yep, gun to head. And
thankfully, you'll not be in that situation.
Yeah, and look, and I don't think it matters.
We don't know, though, right?
We don't know.
You never know, Lance, where he ends up sometimes.
I don't think it matters. I mean, again, they're 32.5-point favorites. They're going to win this game.
It doesn't matter this week, but it matters for the future.
It does, and I expect whoever plays against South Florida, they don't have a good defense.
Right.
They're going to play extremely well, and
yeah.
I mean, to me, if Milroe would have come out, maybe that's kind of the angle here. Milroe was going to come out. He was going to build more confidence, and we wanted to go in a different direction. Makes the game more fascinating to me if Buchner does play.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, you guys look at Buchner's overall career. So he played limited time until he got hurt at Notre Dame last year. The year before, not a lot of reps. But this is a guy career-wise, 6 touchdowns, 8 picks. He does have more athleticism than people give him credit for. But again, we'll see. Tommy Rees obviously likes him. There's a reason he came to Alabama, because his former offensive coordinator, Tommy Rees, is there. So Rees sees something in him, and I'm sure Rees told him you've got every opportunity to play, and we'll see Saturday whether or not he's a starter. I lean he will start now, but we'll see.
Yeah.
I have a question for y'all,
All
just
right.
opinion-based.
Yep.
So say he does start,
Okay.
doesn't do well,
Right.
and then Milroe goes back in. At that point, you can't, I guess at this level, you can't base starting playing time off of feelings, but it's like if they're not 100%, if he does start and they're not 100% confident and then Milroe goes in, do you think that's like,
well,
if you even see what that was not a.
So we saw something similar to this in 2015. We've referenced it a lot, EG.
Right.
When they went with Cooper Bateman against Ole Miss, they go back to Jay Coker, and he never gives up the starting job. I mean, you could say, either thing could happen. Milroe could completely, if Buchner does start, Milroe could lose all of his confidence.
Right.
And then, he's got to build that back. Or if Buchner starts and it's not great, maybe that's where Milroe, and I think this is what happened to Jake Coker, Lance, in 2015, where he looked at Cooper Bateman. It didn't work with Cooper Bateman. And then Coker knew, okay, this is my team. I'm not losing this team now. This is my team. So, I think that's what potentially could happen.
Yeah, I just wonder, if Buchner comes out and throws a pick 6 on the first series, what do you do?
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, do you let him play through that, or do you immediately switch back?
Well,
I don't know. If they do switch back, I think it is Milroe's job moving forward. And another thing, do we ever get to see Ty Simpson?
It seems like he's buried down the depth chart a little bit. I would say, to answer your question, what do you do if Buckner comes out and throws a pick six? Is part of evaluating him is seeing how he responds to those types of things, right? If you don't know how he responds to that, you haven't really fully evaluated him.
And
so,
by the way, he threw one against Marshall last year that cost him the game for Notre Dame.
Terrible loss for Notre Dame. If he starts, I think you've got to make him a legitimate starter. It's one of those where he starts and you let him have his series to see how he does. I mean, you got to get something to evaluate him on. So I don't know, man. This is fascinating to watch.
It's going to be interesting. And this is my thing, kind of my stance on it. Now, in a game like this, and Nick Saban yesterday in his teleconference, he was saying this is not an easy game we're going into. However,
it's always going to say
that.
We know it's an easy game, by the way.
Really good team.
Yep. But this is the thing. You can't properly evaluate Tyler Buchner. Let's say Milroe gets to start on Saturday. You put Buchner in second half, and at that point, we don't know what the score will be.
Right.
But how do you kind of get a read on
that's the thing,
what he's got?
Yeah, that's the thing. If you wait with Buchner or Simpson or anybody until the game is in hand, you don't have the pressure of being the starter in that situation. I've come into a game that's out of hand. Even if I screw it up, we can't lose the game.
Right.
So, I mean, if you really want to evaluate him, I believe, and I know Jim kind of disagreed with this earlier today. If you really want to evaluate Tyler Buchner or Simpson or anybody, you got to start him.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know any other way you could do it and legitimately evaluate him.
Do you handle this with kid gloves where you bring both in and you're like, hey, Jalen, we believe in you.
Yeah.
But we want Tyler to get some reps. We're not saying it's Tyler's team now. We're just going to continue to evaluate. You're a team player. We want to make sure the best guy is out there for the team. So both of you guys are going to play on Saturday, but Tyler's going to start in this situation. And again, we're purely speculating based on some rumors that we've heard in Tuscaloosa that seem to be building steam.
Now, here's a take. Even if Jalen was solid through these two games, I think that in this situation, we could have still seen a different starting quarterback to evaluate. Maybe unpopular.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. So if Milroe had killed it for 2 games,
yeah, I don't know about that.
You might see Buchner
earlier
in the game. Yeah, maybe not starting. No, I would agree with EG there. Maybe not starting, but maybe get him some early second quarter snaps, so you can evaluate him with the ones.
Exactly. So in terms of what the discussion is to Milroe right now, I don't know if it's more like you said, this is your team. We believe in you. We just want to see what he's got, or if it's your starting spot is on the line. And
here's what's going to be interesting. If in fact, and I still think Milroe's a good player. He does. The ball security is a problem. I really don't know. I've only seen a little bit of Buchner, so I don't know what to really expect from Buchner. But is there any chance that Alabama has 3 starting quarterbacks at one particular time this year? Do we see Lonergan or do we see Ty Simpson start a game?
I don't know that you'll get that far down the depth chart. Boy, I mean, it probably is going really bad if you do.
But you remember there was a minute like a month ago, people were saying Ty Simpson's going to start.
Yeah. No. I mean, he was right in there. It was a complete toss-up. And then Lonergan kind of was the late closer, right?
Yeah.
He was the guy that got in the job late. I don't know that you'll see one of those other 2 guys. Now, if you see Buchner here and he's not great and you're still not confident with Milroe, who knows? The problem is, why do this now? You have to do it now because you're about to play Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Arkansas, and Tennessee. If I'm remember the schedule right.
Yeah, it's about to get brutal, or it's about to get real.
Well, it's conference play, and you can't be messing around, trying to find a starter in conference play. You got to know who you got. So this is the last chance to do this. So if you were going to do it, if you were going to go to Buchner, and if Alabama does that, this is really the only time you can do it now.
But what do you do if Buchner does turn it over multiple times and him and Jalen play about the same? Who gets to start against Ole Miss?
Great question. It's the irony of it is it's Ole Miss again, 2015 all over again.
And the thing is, in today's college football, for whatever reason, you can't play 2 quarterbacks. It just doesn't work.
Doesn't seem like it. I mean,
we saw it Saturday night in Berkeley with your team.
Yeah.
Yeah. How was Red Zone Robbie? You drafted him in fantasy.
Was it negative points?
Okay, no. Okay. I was in Atlanta. We were sitting in a bar. I don't know at what point of the game this was in. It's all a blur since the game was so late. But Robbie comes in. I believe they were in the red zone. And I was standing up. I was like, after this drive, I'm going to go do whatever I was about to do. And they bring Robbie in. And I was like, oh, I wonder what's going to happen next. Like, even after just one game, it's so. I mean, it's not tricky, you know. Like they bring him in, and there's like a 90% chance that he's going to run the ball.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Or higher.
I mean, yeah, or 99. But that's the thing is with that. I mean, it was great when no one knew what was going on, but after one game, that's very.
But Hugh Freeze said that after the game. He's like, this quarterback rotation is not working. We got to figure something out. And the last time, Brown, can you call this? The last time we saw two quarterback system work at the highest level.
Some people will say Florida with Leak and Tebow, but that really wasn't a two quarterback system. It really, you got to go back to the 90s Washington team.
Yeah.
With Brunell and
Billy Joe Hobart.
Yeah.
1991, they won a national championship, and they rotated two quarterbacks. And for Don James, who, by the way, is the mentor for Nick Saban, that worked, but it hasn't worked in almost 35 years.
Yeah,
you gotta figure something out.
Remember the Georgia situation? Justin Fields, Jake Fromm, 4th and 12, was it? They fake punted.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
They tried to sneak Justin Fields in, and Alabama was like, "That's a backup quarterback right there."
That guy's about to be the starting quarterback for the Bears.
Yeah,
he's not going to be good, but
been on punt team all year. Maybe we pay attention to him. You know, that was probably not.
Were you at that game pulling for Georgia?
I was.
Not Kirby's finest moment right there.
No, that was a heartbreaker.
Live and learn.
Yeah. I mean, he's rebounded since.
Yes.
A little bit.
He's fine now.
Yeah, he's done all right. All right, EG's about to walk us through some of these games. Lance, it is Bud Light Game Night. Please give us a thumbs up. Thank you for catching us on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, wherever you're watching us right now. Share us, please. Hit a retweet or share us. Like us wherever you're watching. And please hit that thumbs up on YouTube. If you're new to us, please subscribe and set your alerts so you know when we're live on the next round. We're at Bud Light Game Night, 10 Roof.
Yeah,
District.
$3 long necks right now from our friends at Bud Light. We're going to be doing this every Thursday night from 5 until 7. We've already got next week's location locked down. We will tell you about that in a little bit. But come out and join us. We're down in Lakeview at 10 Roof, 5 to 7 right here with our friends at Bud Light.
All right, EG, what we got?
Let's get into it. So we're going to start out Kansas State at Missouri, 11 a.m. SEC Network. Kansas State is a 3.5-point favorite, and the total is 47.5. I'm going to give you guys some little tidbits here.
All right.
So this is the first sold-out game of the season
for Missouri. So the Lance doesn't like that because they sit on rocks.
They do sit on rocks. Their end zone is not seats; it is rocks.
Yeah, it's rocks.
So it's like they're sold out of rocks, not sold out.
Well, sold out of seats and rocks.
It's like
it's a combination.
I think the rocks are first come first serve.
It's like Miguel's Hardscape. We're going to bring them out, and they're going to lay down the big granite rocks because we can't put seats. We're not going to fill it up. Students can come in, $5 ticket. You sit on whatever rock. First come, first serve.
Tyler Siskey says that he believes that Missouri is one of the hardest SEC road games
because it's hard to get there. It's a dead atmosphere. Yeah. People are sitting on rocks. It's a small stadium.
People are sitting on a rock.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it does make sense. That kind of lulls you to sleep.
That's
There's like an eerie silence.
Yeah.
It's a weird atmosphere.
That's what I thought Cal was going to be like for Auburn.
It was.
It was.
But like we had fans. Like we had a
well, there were 10,000 Auburn fans. There's the only reason there was any noise. All right, EG.
All right. So what are our thoughts here? And keep in mind, Kansas State, they run a interesting defense. 3-3-5. Okay. So I'm just going to throw that out there.
Yep.
A little different. And then you have Brady Cook.
Yep.
Who's still trying to get his footing. So what are the thoughts here?
My thoughts are Kansas State's a much better team, but it's one of those dangerous 11 o'clock sleepy games.
Right.
The SEC is going to be flying that flag because the SEC out of conference up until this point has been really bad. If you watch K-State last week, they won the Big 12 last year. Will Howard, 5 touchdowns. They held Troy to 70 yards rushing. Troy going into that game had the second longest winning streak in college football, and they got dominated. But now you wonder if this is one of those letdown spots. Kansas State completely crushed them last year in Manhattan. This number's weird to me, EG. It opened at 1.5. It has stretched out. It got as high as 4.5. It's creeped back to 3.5. If I played it, common sense tells me Kansas State, but I'm a contrarian. I would play Missouri plus a 3.5, but I'm not going to mess with it. It's an 11 o'clock game, but I think this will be a very intriguing, tight game.
If we go coaching headsets, easy Kansas State.
Easy.
For me, I think Chris Kleiman, I think Chris Kleiman can be borderline a top 10 coach there at Kansas State. He's not there yet. I don't think I'd have him in the top 10 yet. But Lance, I do think I'd put him 10 to 20. And I'm not a big Eli Drinkwitz fan. I think he's badly overrated. So I'm going to go headsets here. Kansas State's the better team. SEC versus out of conferences not going well against the power conferences. I think Kansas State wins this game. And what point spread did you give me, Eugene?
3.5 point favorite.
Yeah,
and a total 47.
Yeah, I think they'll cover. I don't know about the total, but I think they'll cover the.
Yeah, I think I would play the under here.
Would you?
Mm.
Yeah, so I like Kansas State. Lance likes the under.
All right, moving on. This is a fun one. Penn State at Illinois, 11 a.m. on Fox. Penn State is a 14.5 point favorite, and the total is 48.5. So we have to go back. This is the revenge game, if you will. So it's the conference opener. Last matchup, Illinois 9 overtime 2018 win.
Yep.
And it was so boring because once you get to that third overtime, we're going to flip field and go 2-point conversions.
Yep.
And they did it 9 times.
Right.
Yep.
So it's the longest overtime in college football history.
And I think there were some overtimes where nobody scored anything, as I remember it.
I think there were
that way. Yeah. I mean, like we had some empty sets in overtime. It was pretty boring.
I will tell you, Illinois though, their last 3 outings against top 10 teams, I think it is. I think they're 3-0, or they've kept the game within 3 points. So Illinois has been able to keep these games close. Watching Illinois against Toledo, we had Toledo as our biggest play in week 1. They were lucky to beat Toledo last second field goal. And then last Friday night, we backed Illinois, and we got burned because their defense, which was number 2 in scoring defense last year, Ryan Walters leaves, takes over Purdue. Defense is a shell of itself. I don't trust the defense. But again, the public is all over Penn State in this spot. It's an 11 o'clock game, not to dodge.
Yep.
If I played it, I think I would lay the points with Penn State.
Well, I really like Drew Aller and what he has done. They've played 2 nobodies. They've had a couple layups here in their first 2 games. But Aller has played very, very well for them. Borderline the best. Well, now I'm not even going to say borderline. I think best quarterback playing the Big Ten so far.
Oh, yeah.
Is Drew Aller.
Well, I mean, I would say J.J. McCarthy.
You would put him in front of Aller?
He's completing 88% of his passes.
I mean, who are they playing?
Well,
not that Penn State's played anybody, but I think Aller's like 78%.
Yeah, no, both have been great.
Yeah. Aller has not turned it over. Penn State, one of, I think it was 9 teams that has yet to turn the ball over this year. So they've played clean. I think they will whip Illinois in this situation. So that's back-to-back favorites I have liked here. I think Penn State runs away with this game.
Brown Bandit.
Brown Bandit.
There we go.
And you know me, I like the upsets though. Big little T. That's not an upset there. Penn State going to win outright.
So, well, I guess you aren't the Brown Bandit currently. So
not currently. I think the Brown Bandit game's on here. I think we're getting to it a little bit later. We'll see.
All right. Next up, we have LSU at Mississippi State, 11 a.m. ESPN. LSU is favored by 9 and a total of 54.5. So wait, let me tell you guys what I found out. Brian Kelly has the managers at practice holding cowbells because he has yet to coach in this environment.
Right.
He's got them shaken.
Right.
And he knows that it's difficult to play in that atmosphere.
So they're going cowbells at practice.
They are. They're going cowbells
Boy,
at
I've
practice.
never heard this before.
Yeah, I know. And it's the manager. So it's like 10 of them. And they're about to be 60,000.
Right.
10 people, there's like a dead, their arms get tired, and all of a sudden it just goes silent.
You know, somebody's called home to mom. I just don't want to do this managing thing anymore.
Yeah, I got to ring a
That
cowbell.
was one thing I was washing jocks, but now I'm shaking cowbells.
Did you ever go to a game at Starkville, Little T, when you were an Auburn student?
I did not.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't want that. Like, I think that I would get pissed off. I think I'd be like, stop.
It is. Lance, have you been to a game there when they do the cowbells? It is. It gets to a point.
I have been to the stadium. I've never been to a game, though.
It gets to the point where it's just so loud you don't even think about it anymore, right?
It seems like the absolute worst game to go hungover.
Probably so.
The
Yeah,
worst stadium out there.
Yeah, a lot of noise in that situation. This is a tough game for me because, you know, the last time we saw LSU against a quality opponent, they did not look good. We have not seen Mississippi State against a quality opponent. In fact, Lance, against Arizona, we've talked about it a lot this week, +4 in turnovers, and still had to go to overtime to win that game.
Yeah, I'm not
that worries
sold.
me.
Jaquavius Marks will be able to run the football. They'll try to establish that early on. LSU is going to come in with a mat on. They didn't play well in the first quarter. Brian Kelly is a guy that will rip shit up. He did in the final 3 quarters. They scored 72 points. Fully expect LSU to play their best. Whether they're as good as I thought they were or not, we'll see. Different offense for Will Rogers. He'll really get tested here. I just don't know how good Mississippi State is. I still feel good. LSU is a good team. Number is creeping up. What do you have it at right now?
I have it at favored by 9 and a total of 54.5.
Yeah, so it was down as low as 7.5. I like LSU in the spot again. Hate to say it, 11 o'clock game.
11 o'clock game. Lance stays away.
Not going to touch it, but LSU has won 10 of 11 and 19 of 21. So they dominate this series.
They do. Tanner says he's been there. Fun place to watch a game twice. As a Bama fan, he's been there.
Side note, my son, Jack Taylor, was born on a Thursday night. You remember this. Sly Kroom was still coaching. LSU beat them 45-0.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, that was Jack's birthday, huh?
That was Jack's birthday.
Well, it's been a long time ago. Kid's 16 now?
The kid is 16 now.
that's
Yeah.
As of
crazy.
recently, right?
Yeah.
Crazy.
Last week?
Oh,
2 weeks ago.
Rod says
Birthday.
Jim's FOMO must be off the charts. Dunaway's with Coach Saban. I
Yeah.
mean, would you rather
He's
be
in
with us
heaven.
or with Coach Saban?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. He's
Depends
doing
who you
head coach
ask.
tonight.
Yeah. He's trying to smell Saban right now.
Wait, Brian Kelly, the only thing, whenever I hear his name, the only thing that pops into my head is that dancing video.
Oh,
of him
the
at-
Rockstar made fun of?
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that, I don't like no comment, I guess, but
I mean, he was.
it's
he
etched
was-
into my head. It's etched into my brain. I wish it would get out.
A lot of people are like he was grinding on recruits. I don't know if they ever really
No.
grinded on them, but
I just think it's so uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
I wonder what music was playing in the
I
background.
don't know. But, you know, the one Scott plays, Rockstar's Dancing with a Dinosaur.
Yeah,
So when you say it, I always
think of Rockstar.
No, I envision Brian Kelly dancing with a dinosaur. Like, that wasn't even it. For some reason, we put the dinosaur
Yeah.
in there.
The sad thing is the kid he was dancing with is at Ole Miss.
Left.
Yeah, yeah.
Left. I remember after he, or
That's
did he never
humble.
commit? I don't remember.
No, he
Yeah, he
went to
committed.
LSU and then he transferred to Ole Miss. I mean, he's probably, Lance, I would think the third-team
He
quarterback at
is.
Ole Miss.
He's
Yeah,
number 3 right now.
Yeah.
But he would have been number 3 at LSU.
that's true. Yeah, it would have been number 3 of the place.
all righty. Well, Zach Arnett put it as we have our hands full, and Will Rogers is fine. So we'll.
Well, Will
Um,
Rogers, and that's the other thing, Lance. This is a guy we're used to throwing for 380, 400 yards a game. And right now, he's at 191 a game. I mean, they have not thrown the ball anywhere close. And I didn't expect them to in the air raid, but I thought maybe a little bit more than what we've seen out of Will Rogers.
Yeah, I would agree. And especially the way they're running the football. But maybe they've kind of known. Well, I can't say that because Arizona was a dangerous game. I was going to say maybe they're hiding some of the packages for LSU.
Yeah.
But I doubt that's the case. I don't know. I've got a feeling that Mississippi State's going to be solid, 7-5 like. I still think LSU can bounce back much like they did last year.
All righty. Moving right along. South Carolina at Georgia, 2:30 CBS. Georgia is a 27.5 point favorite and a total of 54.5.
You know, we used to talk about good Bo, bad Bo. We've seen a lot of good Bo in Eugene, Oregon. We saw a lot of bad Bo in Auburn. And we've got good Spencer, bad Spencer. It's kind of the way it is. And good Spencer, Rattler, we saw him last year against both Tennessee and Clemson, winning those games, playing extremely well. He's played great so far this year. Even against North Carolina when he was under duress nonstop. I just wonder what we're going to get here because you go back last year, they lost this game 48-7. He had 119 passing yards. He was awful against that Georgia defense. Most quarterbacks are.
Yeah.
If he can somehow stay upright, get hot. Georgia hadn't been challenged this year. But if I had to lay it, or if I had to play it, I think I would lay it and lay the 27.5. I think Georgia is still the real deal. People are doubting them, and they've won a combination like 113 to like 10.
I think an interesting test for Georgia here, not as whether or not they win this game. They're going to win this game, but Georgia has been very slow starting against UT Martin and Ball State. They've had bad first quarters, bad first halves. They've been a little bit slow to get in the game. So I think it's a huge test to see against a more quality opponent. I don't know yet that South Carolina is a quality opponent. We'll see. They didn't appear to be against North Carolina, but a more quality opponent that they're playing. How quickly do they start the game? Is their offense in gear right away? Are they up 14-0 after 2 possessions? Because you know they've heard it for 2 weeks now, and Kirby has heard it for 2 weeks now, and Mike Bobo has heard it for 2 weeks now, how slow this offense is starting. So to me, it's not whether or not Georgia wins this game. They're going to win the game. It's not really not, to me, whether they cover. I want to see what they do in the first quarter. I want to see how they start this game after they've been so slow starting these other games.
You know, Carson Beck, again, it's against nobody, but his numbers he's putting up, there's only 2 other quarterbacks in Georgia's history that's been able to put these numbers up through 2 games. And I know it was Aaron Murray. I think Eric Zier's the other guy.
Yeah, I would guess him.
Yeah.
And Rattler, again, his numbers have been really, really good. He just doesn't have any protection or any run game. That's his problem.
But look, Antoine Wells was really good last year for South Carolina. He's got 1 reception through 2 games. Now, Xavier Leggett, on the other hand, leading the SEC right now in receiving yards with 296. Let me take that back. So if you could get Leggett playing like that, get Antoine Wells to come on,
Yeah.
could be interesting.
Rattler's been 350 plus in 2 games, even in the loss to North Carolina. again, none of this has been on him. Their loss to North Carolina was not on Spencer Rattler at all.
Yeah. I think South Carolina is going to have to take advantage of any opportunity that they're given. And Coach Beamer literally said it takes all 11 guys to stop Brock Bowers. So,
Yep.
I mean.
But, Brock, they haven't needed him. And I'm interested to see. People are already calling for Mike Bobo's job. And again,
I know.
he's, I think, 113 points in 2 games. But Brock Bowers is a guy that hasn't been really used. And even Todd Monken, who a lot of Georgia fans like, winning back-to-back national championships, we thought Brock Bowers averaged like 3.5, 4 touches a game, was underutilized. I think this could be a big Brock Bowers game.
I agree.
Did you go to a game at Georgia when you were in school at Auburn?
I did not.
Did you go to any road games?
Yes, I went
before
to LSU.
Okay, we'll get
Fun place.
I went Iron Bowl, but
Yeah.
I hate that place.
It's
LSU
called Bryant Denny Stadium.
Yeah.
No, well, it is. Every time that I left, it was raining and it was dreary. The town is dirty. I was like,
All right,
I was ready to go,
Wow.
but
Okay.
it is. I mean, I'm speaking the truth right
Yeah,
now.
a little
but
too went to Auburn, if you can't tell.
it was. But LSU, it was my senior year, I think, and that was the bonus. I don't even remember how the game. It was like an 8 o'clock or a 9 o'clock kick, and
That's when
It was-
TJ Finley played, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yes. And that was a
Oh,
fun.
yeah.
That was the most fun road game.
Well, that was when Bo had that incredible play
Yeah.
going back and
he
forth.
scrambled for
Yeah.
That's
minute and
before
a half.
you work. That's before you work for us.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
we
that
had
was
Bo
senior
was
year.
a weekly
Bo,
guest.
Bo was on our show.
Yeah, that was my
Yeah.
senior year.
Yeah, Bo was on every week. It was our first year in this format after we left radio, and Bo was our NIL player. And you guys didn't work for us. Every week he said something outrageous. Like every week it just went viral because he
Didn't mean to either.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
God.
sometimes he did. I mean, he
Like our boy Tyler Booker the other day
Yeah.
kind
Oh,
of walked it back.
I
Bo
feel-
never walked
never
it
walked
back.
it
I
back.
feel bad.
I do
for
too.
Tyler.
Well, I
Well,
mean,
Brown's asking the hard questions.
but I had to follow up. Bo was he was talking about like SEC officiating is against Alabama gets all the calls. It's against Auburn.
I mean, is he
Wow.
lying?
A little T. She's got
You
that
had
Auburn
a chance to talk to Greg Sankey when we were in
That's right.
Nashville.
I did.
You could have asked him straight
diploma.
up.
Right up.
You did. Hey, Commissioner Sankey, I got a few questions for you. Can we step out?
And he's heard it before.
Yeah, I'm not trying to burn any bridges.
Hey, can
for
we do
y'all.
a quick promo for
Yeah,
the
yeah.
shirts?
I was going to do both Bud Light Game Night and Lance'sLike.com. We are Bud Light Game Night at 10 Roof. You could scan the, they got QR codes all over the place. You could scan those and you can get Sunday ticket, which, by the way, week 1 Sunday ticket, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic.
Well, I'm technically challenged.
Well, I know, I'm
Once I
aware.
get my Rokus,
Yep.
then I'm gonna get it figured out.
Yep.
But I love the split screen if I'm
it
not
was
watching
really
my
good.
Rams.
Yeah, the
it was
quad
good.
box. But we got a lot going on with Bud Light.
Yeah, $3 long necks right now. Come down, join us again. We've got Bud Light Game Night every Thursday, 5 to 7. We are getting ready for not only I love Thursday nights because you get a little college action. It's not a great game with Navy and Memphis, but on the other side, 2 division winners last year with Philadelphia hosting Minnesota. We have plays on both games. We got a total in the Navy Memphis game. We've got side and total right now on the NFL game. So jump on board, lanceslike.com. We had no idea we were going to be wearing the same T-shirt.
I
I didn't get the
know.
memo.
I've
Not
wore
playing.
I almost wore that one too, EG. That would have
Yeah.
looked funny. Yeah,
This was literally the second time I was looking for a black shirt to wear.
right.
I probably overthink the wardrobe a little bit.
Probably.
And I came around, I was like, hey, I'll wear Lance's like because we're going to be promoted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I thought. Or I wasn't looking for a black shirt. I was just like, why not?
Here comes
Why
little
not?
T. I swear, I had my hand on that one. I was like, I'm going to wear the red one for some
But
reason.
lanceslock.com, daily packages, weekly, monthly, annual. We're going to win for you. Last weekend was basically, I was talking to some guys at the bar, some regular listeners, regular patrons here at Tin Roof. And they were like, last week wasn't bad. And I was like, yeah, it was basically a 6-6 in
500.
college,
Yeah.
5-5 in the NFL. It was a 500 weekend, which we don't want. Of course, we want one of these big weekends. Terrible slate this weekend in college football. Pretty good slate in the NFL, but I like a lot of games. I've already started circling the games this weekend, so really excited about it. Lanceslock.com, jump on board.
By the way, look up there at the Memphis crowd. Who do they play tonight?
Navy.
Navy. I mean, there is
Oh my
nobody.
gosh.
Look behind him. There's
Oh.
nobody.
There
in
are
the
like
stands.
17 people.
What time does this game kick? It kicks right now,
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
6:30.
they're about to kick.
That's
Nobody
sad.
in the
That
stands.
is sad.
Yeah, if I can get a broadcast with Matt Berry and Dan Mullen, though, I'm in heaven.
It's better than being at the game, right?
Yeah.
I'm just offended that no one asked me if I went to any Georgia Southern away games.
Well, did you? Okay.
Well, then they played at Georgia State, right?
Yeah, but I was working. I had other sports to cover.
Yeah, but I would say that, like, if I lived around there and I was a Georgia Southern or Georgia State fan, I'd kind of like to see a game in Turner Field just to see what it was like.
Yeah, it's kind of a weird setup.
It is.
Yeah.
It is not. I'm a Georgia State hater. I'm very.
Oh
open
wow,
about
that's
it.
their big rival. That's Georgia
Yeah.
Southern's big rival.
Yeah, and App State. But it's an interesting atmosphere for sure, especially baseball. Because they don't play their baseball games out Turner Field.
They do or don't?
They do not.
Oh, they don't.
Which
Yeah.
is
That doesn't make a lot of sense,
No.
does it?
Well,
No,
I
it
think
does
they've altered so much of it you can't go back to the baseball setup because I think those stands on the other side are permanent.
Maybe.
Now. Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think those are temporary.
Well, if I was a baseball player at Georgia State, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, man, we have opportunity to play at Turner Field where Chipper Jones
At
played.
the Braves old stadium.
Like this.
What, little T?
Well,
You're upset at Memphis fans?
I'm just upset. I'm like when Memphis just ran out onto the field, I'm like, they're getting pumped up. But then it's just, I'm like, that's sad. To me,
Thursday
kinda.
night game in Memphis. I mean, I didn't expect a huge crowd, but
You only
But-
get to play 12 of these.
yeah.
But imagine going to a school that doesn't care. That's what I was thinking about with Cal, because I thought about going and I was talking to Dunaway about it, and he was like, the people out in Cal care more about saving trees than they do about college football, and that's
Right.
that's fascinating to me. I'm like,
No,
I
but
can't
it's
imagine
true.
going to a
Yeah.
school. Who would go to a school that doesn't care about college football?
Yeah, but like, so if you go up to Jersey, I think some of those people care more about New York style pizza than Rutgers football.
Like I can't comprehend. I mean, I don't. We can continue,
I
but
mean,
that's mind blowing.
I'm a huge college football fan, Lance. I think I care more about pizza than Rutgers football too, but I'm not in school there, so it's a big difference.
But you care if you had to give up SEC football forever or pizza.
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 100%
I would
pizza.
too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have to.
All right, we'll keep things going.
so I'm getting everything I've said is taking a turn.
Yeah.
All right, continue.
All right, we've got BYU at Arkansas, 6:30, ESPN2. Arkansas is favored by 8 and a total of 47.5. It's a night game.
Yeah, so
In
Arkansas
Fayetteville.
last year goes to Provo, and they end up running away with the game 52-35, I recall. KJ Jefferson, 5 touchdowns, almost 400 total yards. No Rocket Sanders is going to be big because this is a team that I think was 5th overall in the FBS in rushing last year, and they're averaging basically half of that right now through 2 games. BYU's defense has been really good. They hadn't played anybody,
Boy,
Sam
their
Houston
offense,
State, Eastern Utah, and Southern Utah.
Southern Utah.
Yeah, their offense has not been good. Keaton Slovis, he hadn't thrown a pick yet, but for whatever reason, that offense just hasn't been dialed in. I kind of like BYU in this spot without Rocket Sanders. I think they'll keep it close with defense.
Offensively challenged is what BYU has been so far, Lance. They were only up on Sam Houston State, who's FCS, but they're a good FCS team, but still FCS. The game was in Provo. They were only up 7-0 late into the second half of that one, week 1.
They're holding everything.
They must be, but they end up winning that game 14-0. They play Southern Utah. You can't tell anything about that. It gets real for them now. Road trip to Arkansas. I wish Rocket Sanders were playing. I think I still like Arkansas in this spot. But it is also Arkansas's biggest test so far. They have not been tested. So I don't know that we know the truth about either one of these teams.
Hey, here's the thing. Keaton Slovis hasn't been as good since he was a redshirt freshman at USC.
Yeah, he has slowly digressed.
Yeah, and he was playing in that. And I talked to Luganville and Spit and Lugs about this. When he was playing in the air raid system, he was much more comfortable. He comes to Pittsburgh. The numbers weren't there so far at BYU. The numbers haven't been there. My theory is Puka Nacua, one of the best wide receivers on the planet, gets drafted by the Rams. Now he's playing for the Rams. The offense has dropped off. Little sarcasm there.
No, but he has been good for the Rams.
He has in 1 week. Yeah.
Well, in the preseason. He looked good in the preseason.
Okay, I'm going to run and get a beer. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Nobody will bring you
No,
a
it is
beer?
not okay.
Nobody will bring a beer over here?
Why do you go to the bathroom, too?
Oh, do you?
Yeah. Is
All
that
Can
right.
you
okay?
bring me one? when
That's
you come
fine
back?
with me. I don't
Take
care.
this away.
Yeah. All right. So we got a quick beer and bathroom run for LT. I'll tell you, we're at Tin Roof. It is Bud Light game night. Thank you for joining us on YouTube. Please give us a thumbs up while you're on YouTube. And make sure you subscribe to not only our Next Round channel, Next Round Live, but Disruptive Media, Roll Tide Pods, War Down Pods, all those things. And make sure you subscribe so you're alert so you know anytime we're live. And share us on social media, too. Please like us and share us on social media. Make sure you give us that thumbs up and subscribe everywhere you get our content. It is Bud Light Game Night. This is number 13, as we call
Number
her.
13.
EG. Emily Grace McWhorter. Thought I was going to say Emma Grace.
I
but I was gonna say-
I was waiting for it.
Little T, Taylor Corn. I'm Ryan Brown. LT will be back in just a moment. You guys enjoying this so far?
Yeah.
I'm having a ball.
I feel like I have a lot of power with these.
What with all the
with all the
like controlling the
information.
conversation
Yeah, it's kind of nice.
with the information? We keep it going. We don't have
We
to have
do.
Lance for this.
No.
Lance'sLock.com for all these games if you want his opinion on them.
Subscribe.
Subscribe to Lance'sLock.com. Weekly packages, daily packages, monthly, season, all at Lance'sLock.com.
All right, well, we're gonna keep
Yeah,
going.
let's
without
go.
Lance.
Come on.
Why not? Okay, so we're gonna round out college. Fresno State at Arizona State, 9:30 FS1.
Jaden Rashada, the Arizona State quarterback, was so for those who don't remember, Jaden Rashada was the guy that Florida recruited so heavily. He had like a Ferrari on the field, ended up going to Miami, then transferred to Arizona State to play for Kenny Dillingham, the former Oregon and Auburn offensive coordinator. He is at Arizona State now. It is a conference that is loaded at quarterback. And I think the storyline for them is, can Jaden Rashada take that next step to be the quarterback that is at least on the level of a Jaden DeLaura, who is the quarterback at Arizona? He's probably not going to be, I don't think there's any way he could be a top-end quarterback in the Pac-12. It's just too good right now. But can he play well enough for Arizona State to get some wins? It starts against Fresno State, who you heard if you were on our show earlier today. Trent Dilfer, the former Fresno State quarterback, talked about this team and the kind of turnaround they've made under Jeff Tedford. So this is a really interesting game. Give me that point spread again.
It's 3.5, or Fresno is a 3.5 point favorite and a 50.5 point total.
Fresno is a 3.5 point favorite,
Yeah.
total of 50.5. This feels like a game that would go over the total to me. I would like the over
Thank you.
in Fresno State and Arizona State. That would be my play there, over the 50.5. Lance is
you wanna
back.
get in on this?
Yeah. Arizona State, Fresno State, LT. I like the over in this.
So
game.
Drew Pine, we're talking about Buckner, and
Yep.
a guy that he was battling last year, Drew Pine at Notre Dame, is now finally healthy. And so Kenny Dillingham, he's going to start Jaden Rashada. But I think there's going to be different things that he's going to do with Drew Pine. I think two quarterbacks will play here. Fresno State, we found out today, you probably already brought this up, second longest win streak now in college
you
football.
just now mentioned it. I forgot to bring that up.
Right behind Georgia, well coached with Jeff Tedford. Their quarterback transfer, Mikey O'Keene, transfer from Central Florida. Kind of a drop off, obviously, from what you had from Jay Kaner last year. I think this could be a really good game. I kind of lean Arizona State here.
Oh, yeah. Rashada has not been great. I was just looking at his numbers, 34 of 60, 3 touchdowns and a pick, 403 yards. He's been a little bit inefficient.
I watched him week 1 on Pac-12, and I said this. He throws a really good deep ball. He's
Right.
athletic, but he still seems like the game's too fast.
Yeah, I watched him against Oklahoma State. There wasn't very good quarterback play across the board in that game between all the Arizona State quarterbacks and Jaden Rashada. The thing I thought Lance would get more out of is Rashada using his legs. He's barely run the football for them. I thought you'd see him run the football a little bit more, but Kenny Dillingham has not used that at all.
Well, maybe now that Drew Pine is healthy, he feels like, hey, if something happens to Rashada, then Drew Pine can come in and we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Interesting takes. I like it. All right. Now we're going to go on to NFL. We have Minnesota at Philadelphia at 7:15 Prime Video. Philadelphia is a 6-point favorite, and the total is at 49.
Real quick, shameless plug, Lance's Lock right there. You see the T-shirt, which, by the way, you can order these.
You can.
Nextroundstore.com. Nextroundstore.com.
Nextround.store.
Nextround.store. Always
Yep.
mess that up. Nextround.store. You can get these Lance's Lock shirts.
As Lunsford says, there are .store domains, and we have one.
Yeah, we do have one of those. But I am playing side and total here, so I can
Okay.
tiptoe around this.
Yeah.
Again, Minnesota lost a lot in the offseason. We've talked about great regular season, but how they won games was pretty amazing. And for them to lose in week 1 to Tampa, that was bad.
Yeah. They've got to be a little bit of a desperate team, I think. I mean, for them to get in an 0-2 hole now, one thing is I don't know that anybody is going to run away with that division. Detroit and Green Bay look the best in that division so far. But I don't know that it's going to be like a division where the winner's got 12 or 13 wins, right? So, I don't think they're in a division that people are going to run away from them. But they, when you start in an 0-2 hole in the NFL, the old stat, when you were 0-3 in the NFL, 0-3, I think your chances to make the playoffs back in the day before they expanded was 8%. So if you're 0-2, you're trending towards not making the playoffs before things even get started. It's a fairly desperate spot for Minnesota. I think they got their hands full tonight. Philadelphia is a good team. Obviously, just played in the Super Bowl, picked right up where they left off early on in that game against New England in Week 1. I do not like Minnesota going into this situation.
You know, I think Philadelphia would take the ugly win last week, and they were up 16-0, and then they turned the football over. They didn't play good in the second half. They were lucky to survive, but Jalen Hurts had a terrible fumble in the fourth quarter that kept New England in it. But I brought this up. Bill Belichick had an entire summer to prepare for that Philadelphia offense.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens tonight. Again, I've got your winner. I've got your total. So jump on board, Lance'sLock.com.
To be fair, one early touchdown for Philadelphia was a pick six by Mac Jones.
It was.
It's not like their offense went in and tore it up early.
But
They only
Philadelphia
scored 10
was
of those
great
16.
with takeaways last year.
Yeah.
I do have Jordan Addison starting this week, so I'm gonna.
Somebody ask Lance, would you take a fantasy question here? NH3425. He can either start Madison for the Vikings or Rachaad White for the Bucks.
I think I would start Madison. I think
All right.
Madison's good back. I mean, there's a reason they let Dalvin Cook go.
Yeah. Who do you have, EG?
I've got Jordan Addison starting this week, so
All right.
Fight on.
Mine-
USC.
Did y'all do the daily fantasy thing?
I did not, little T.
Why?
But I've not been doing it. I don't know. I'm sorry. to
Oh,
Oh, do
leave
we
you
have
out.
it? I didn't
Did
know
you-
we got one.
Yeah. Did you,
Y'all.
I can do
I
it
don't
when we're
think we did
talking.
either.
Yeah. Come
did you
on.
I'm
see
good.
little T's reaction to me not doing the daily fantasy?
I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
But my
I have sucked at fantasy thus far.
I've won I'll get a thing and it's like you won money and it's like $7.35.
Yeah. Welcome
I'm
to
like, okay.
welcome to daily fantasy.
But it's fun. It makes things interesting. But my lineup, I think it's
You think
or how many people? How many is it? 6 people?
Yeah, in the daily fantasy.
Okay, yeah, mine is 6 Eagles and
Right.
Justin Jefferson. So if they don't do good, then I'm
Yeah.
screwed.
6 Eagles and Justin Jefferson.
No, that was
Yeah.
me last Thursday night.
How'd it
I had a
go?
bunch of Chiefs and a couple of lines. It didn't go good.
Okay,
I
good.
didn't win.
in one of my leagues, I accidentally drafted half of the Bengals.
Boy, I bet that
Whoa,
went well.
That was-
that's a crappy week
that
one for
was
you.
painful.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm-
Next,
I
excuse me.
barely won week 1, and Dunaway lost his quarterback. I was playing
Same.
Dunaway, and he had Aaron Rodgers, and I barely beat him. So,
I did beat Lunsford. Pretty good.
uh-oh.
I'm not gonna say anything though.
Okay,
because
yeah, I would
don't-
not run your mouth
I'm not
just yet.
running my mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying
Yep.
it was a good win. All right, as an Atlanta kid, Green Bay at Atlanta,
Uh-huh.
noon Fox. Atlanta is a 1.5 point favorite, and the total is 40.5. Both teams need this win based on their upcoming schedules.
Look, I mean, Jordan Love Lance was really, really good in week 1. 3 touchdown passes, stole the show when a lot of people thought Justin Fields was going to be the quarterback taking the next step forward, and that the Bears were going to kind of announce their spot in that division. Jordan Love came in and outplayed Fields very, very badly in that first game. So impressed with what Jordan Love did. I mean, I don't know that it's a step up against the Falcons defense. Like, I mean, who's got a better defense, Bears or Falcons? So, I mean, I don't know that this is a game where you're like, okay, it's about to get real for Jordan Love. I'll be interested to see if he can look anything like he did in week 1 now that the Falcons got a game of tape on him.
Yeah, look, I thought Bryce Young looked bad. Desmond Ritter looked
Yep.
okay. Ritter's got some really good weapons, but Green Bay really impressed me when they made adjustments, completely shut down Fields, forced turnovers. Aaron Jones was great. And back to your point on Jordan Love, the moment wasn't too big.
No.
They go on the road. He throws 3 touchdowns. I think Green Bay's the better team here. They've
Yeah.
got the better quarterback. I like Green Bay. I don't think there's much of it. This is going to sound nuts. I don't think there's much of a drop off from Green Bay last year to this year.
From Aaron Rodgers to Jordan Love.
Yeah,
Through
but
one,
I'm not,
game there wasn't.
and I'm not talking about just quarterback
No,
position.
no, I
I'm just
know.
talking
Overall.
about everything together. Yeah.
And one thing for Atlanta is they won that game by 2 touchdowns. They barely had any offense. Drake London did not touch the football.
I know.
That's crazy. I thought that guy
Yeah.
would have a massive year.
Yeah,
for
and
him.
after me saying there's a chance he leads the NFL in receptions, I
Yeah.
pulled it back quickly, remembering Desmond Ritter's their quarterback.
But Bijan Robinson was really good. Now,
Are you a Falcons fan, by the way?
My mom is a bigger Falcons fan.
Right.
After 28-3.
Yeah,
I
you
mean,
were just like, I give up.
It's
Yeah.
hard.
Did you cry?
do.
That was a long time ago.
I was a freshman in high school, I think, maybe a sophomore. And I remember.
I would have cried if that was Rams now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I pulled a Dunaway actually, and I posted on Instagram.
No.
Listen to this. In my Falcons shirt, I said, like, the face you make when someone says the Falcons will still lose. And they lost.
Right.
And I was terrified that somehow, some way,
It was your
that
fault.
it was my fault and it was going to go viral. And
It could have been.
Yeah, look
Matt
at
The
this
Aaron
girl.
Rodgers thing.
I know
yeah.
that's what's
I,
crazy.
I believe in jinxes.
I think I jinxed the Atlanta Falcons. You heard it here first.
Oh, no,
wow.
I
no,
will
no.
take it.
I think the Falcons have enough jinx
No,
on their
I think
own.
they got
I
a
don't know that you did it, EG.
I might have helped.
I will tell you this. You will learn this about me as the more we do the gambling thing is I suck at Super Bowls. And I'll never forget where we watched it. We were at the Redmond Hotel downtown, and I had the Falcons, and I was like, I finally have an easy winner
Yep.
here.
Yeah. No,
Steve Sarkisian.
Yeah.
that was painful.
Did anyone see the Aaron Rodgers tweet?
the
It was a random account.
yes?
Oh, yeah. The guy. Oh, yeah. I
Yes.
saw that. Yeah.
That was insane. Did you see this? You don't get on Twitter anymore, right? Because you don't like
Not
the-
as it's X.
the
I don't
new
know anything
X.
about it yet.
Yeah, you don't know anything about it.
Same exact thing. They're just
Okay, well, some random account, I think it was like I don't know who it was. I can't remember the name, but someone tweeted like an hour and a half or 2 hours before the game started when they were posting videos of all the rain and said something about the turf. Aaron Rodgers is going to,
tears
Yeah.
ACL.
yeah, he's going to,
Or no,
tear
tears
his
Achilles.
or-
Yeah.
yeah, his
Yeah.
Achilles. And then
Then he did
obviously
it.
after it happens, it blows up.
Well,
But I
I
was
mean, they
like-
were right.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the
but,
guys
like,
kind of feel
that's
awful.
crazy.
Though. Yeah. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's one of those things you don't want to throw out there.
No. Don't even.
No, but I
speak it.
mean, but think about, I mean, like,
What are
he's
the
getting,
odds?
he's getting
I mean, that's like
clipped.
Dunaway saying, "Hey, I've got a flight today. I think it's going to go down."
Oh, God.
Okay, that is a little more serious, I would say, than
A
A
a
little more
Then
dramatic. Yeah.
than a football injury, but maybe not to some.
I'm learning that if like the Braves right now, I'm like I
Uh-huh.
don't want Dunaway to say anything. Like,
No,
keep
you don't.
keep
You don't.
the name.
Oh, so you
out
don't
of
know
your
this
mouth.
story, but in 2020, the Braves were up 3-1
Oh,
in the series.
yes.
On the
And
Dodgers.
Dunaway and I
remember.
did a stake bet, and the Dodgers, the next game out, I think they scored 11 runs in the first inning and pounded them. Then it was 3-2, and the Dodgers went on and won the final 3-game
Yeah.
series, knocked the Braves out. And so many Braves fans, our listeners and viewers, were pissed. at
Oh, they
Dunaway.
got so upset at him. Yeah.
So I was at the game that Ronald Acuna hit the grand slam against the Dodgers in that series,
Right.
and it was like with a 3-2 count, and he should have walked him,
Uh-huh.
but he didn't, or he like it wasn't a strike.
Yeah.
Anyways, Acuna hits the grand slam. I was in the outfield. It was awesome.
Did you catch the ball?
No. I was a little too far away.
Have you all ever caught a ball in a major league game?
Oh God, no.
My
No.
dad. So we were at a Braves game one time. I cannot remember who they were playing, but we were sitting behind the third base dugout, several rows up, like 20 rows up. And every time a foul ball would get hit, my dad would be like, "Boy, I wish I'd hit one up here. I'd catch it."
Every
Well,
time.
I wish I knew what a brand-
You're like, all right,
Randy
I get
Brown.
it. I get it.
And I swear to you, like late in the game, ninth inning, about 5 rows in front of us, somebody hits one up, and my dad's like, "Man, if it had just come up here, I'd have caught it."
You're like,
and
no.
he had no more gotten it out of his mouth. The boom, like comes right to him. It's the bottom of his head and bounces down about 4 rows. We never let him hear the end of it.
Yeah, I will tell you, one time I was in, so this is at Turner Field, and I went to see my Dodgers. And we had gotten there a little bit late and went to get a beer. First inning had started. Devin White was leading off for the Dodgers. And apparently he hit one that hit the cable and it shot into the portal. And I was walking up and it took one big bounce. And I had a beer in hand and palmed it.
Of course, that would happen to no one besides you.
And I was like, what the hell? How does this happen in the portal? But yeah, true story.
Yeah.
That
Oh my
doesn't surprise
gosh.
me.
I was with a guy. We were at I was with some buddies at a game. It was actually in Toronto in Skydome.
Wait, that's the only MLB game I've been to is in
In
Toronto.
Skydome?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So random.
That is
That
random,
is.
little T. So it was Kirby Puckett and the Twins playing the Blue Jays. All right.
Wait.
It was
No.
the Twins, Blue Jays. And
You,
No,
Sunday.
mine was-
you would have
mine
you
was-
would have been in a crib.
Yeah, you were
No.
not alive. Yeah.
It was the. Wait, you continue.
All
I'll
right,
tell my story.
so his
after.
buddy of mine's talking to this girl, and he's all leaned in, and somebody lands. We're sitting down the right field line, and I don't even know who it was. Smokes a liner foul, and I'm telling you, he never saw. He's got his back to the plate. And he's talking
No.
to this girl, never sees it coming, and it missed his head by that much. It flew right by.
Would
his
it have
ear.
killed him?
Oh, God, I would have easily knocked him out. I mean, it missed him by that much. Nobody could say anything. It came on him so fast. Nobody could say a word, and it's like empty seats to our left.
Okay, I think that it was the Blue Jays.
Well, that's who plays.
That's who
it.
plays it.
And
Little
who
T.
though?
Well, I don't
Oh,
know.
wait,
It
I
could-
don't know anything
All right,
about
take
that.
your pick. There's
That's-
29 other
I
teams.
mean, it could have been
It was-
anybody.
it
little
was-
T. Now I'm going to bet a division. They play a division team more often than not, but I don't know.
I don't know who it was. Okay, that's okay.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, go ahead, EG.
Yeah.
We got
Moving
sidetracked
on.
a couple times.
I do love
Couple
baseball. I love my Braves.
I don't.
Wait, have you not been to a Braves game?
No,
We-
she doesn't
no,
even know.
I don't. No, I just said that I went to Toronto and think that the Blue
I
Jays
think the
played
Blue
there.
Jays were playing. I'm pretty sure
That's
they
how
were.
much attention that I paid to baseball. All right, and
Okay.
moving on.
Indianapolis at Houston, noon on Fox. Houston is favored by 1, and the total is 39.5.
You know, I thought both Anthony Richardson and CJ Stroud in their debuts,
I agree.
both in losses, played pretty
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
To me, D'Amico Ryans is going to get this going in the right direction. I would play the favorite here. I would play Houston.
You know, I think your problem for Indianapolis, though, Lance, as good as Richardson looked, he also led them in rushing. And you're not going to win games in the NFL when your quarterback leads you in rushing.
Got to get Jonathan Taylor back.
And that's the problem, is Jonathan Taylor is still sidelined there after that disagreement they had over the offseason. 5 carries, 40 yards for Richardson to lead them in rushing. But he looked pretty good early on now. Trevor Lawrence finally heated up and outplayed them. They could not stop Calvin Ridley. But I thought he looked pretty good early on, Richardson did. And that, especially in the first – you watch him in the first quarter, he looked like you were like, okay, there's a reason they picked him number 4.
You know what's crazy, though? If he was playing for Florida this weekend, and I know the Brown Bandits got Florida, and we talked about that game a little bit, I don't know if they beat Tennessee.
I think the line's probably the same,
It
isn't
probably is, yeah.
All righty. Kansas City at Jacksonville, noon CBS. Kansas City is a 3.5-point favorite with a total of 51.
Everybody is going to fall in love with the fact that Travis Kelce's going to come back. We
Right,
don't
of
know how
course.
healthy. Chris Jones signed his contract, one of the best defensive linemen in football, and they're going to be like, there is no chance Kansas City's going to 0-2. Jacksonville's for real. Jacksonville's got weapons. Calvin Ridley.
He looked fantastic.
He really did.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is playing with a ton of confidence. You got multiple backs now with ETN and Bigsby.
Tank.
I like Jacksonville.
Tank got off to a difficult start, though. He fumbled early. He did not get a ton of yards. He did score his first touchdown. But it was not a great start for Tank Bigsby. It was a great return, though, for Calvin Ridley. Over 100 yards receiving and a touchdown, and looked faster. And I've heard a lot of people say that. I thought it. But I'm like, how could he be faster? I guess he's just well rested, but he looked faster out there. He just looked like a different receiver than he was.
That's going to be a nice 1-2 combo for Trevor Lawrence. That's going to be a good team this year.
I agree.
Well, imagine going from playing at Auburn under Brian Harsin to
Where
the
he
NFL.
barely touched the football.
He was
Sometimes.
I thank him
Underutilized.
every day that he stayed.
Yeah.
But he could have think about the things that he could have done at a better program, like a better coach program.
No, I agree. Tank Bigsby's a good running back. I hope look, I mean, he's a rookie making his first start. So the fact that he struggled a little bit early shouldn't alarm me. Yeah, it's not going to alarm anybody. But I'm interested to see what he does the rest of the season. You know, Daniel Jeremiah on DJ Football said he thinks he'll lead them in rushing over ETN, who was really good last year.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for him.
I know.
I know you are.
I saw him at Taco Mama one time, and he smelled good.
Oh.
So
Tank Bigsby smelled good at Taco Mama.
He
Bigsby
smelled good?
Yeah,
Smelled
he said
good.
I'm
All right.
in line. I gotta tell the
Me too.
story now.
Yeah.
It's a Dunaway comment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
He smelled
I
good.
know
All
he
right.
did.
you
I
sure
know
it wasn't
he
the
did.
salsa?
I'm sure. And now everyone's been
I hope he didn't
asking
smell
me.
like salsa.
No,
love
he
salsa.
smelled good.
You want a person to smell like
No,
salsa?
I don't, but I do love salsa.
Oh, so do I.
Yeah.
Not the song. Okay, sorry.
All right,
Um, everyone's been asking me what Matthew McConaughey smelled like.
Yeah. Did you
Because
smell
he
him?
doesn't do deo or he
I
He doesn't wear
just
deodorant.
participate.
So
in that.
if you guys saw the video, I mean, I'm like here to Mr. McConaughey.
Oh, so that
Mr.
you were the
McConaughey.
one rolling.
Yeah.
I thought
Excellent.
Dunaway was
I
doing
thought
both.
Dunaway-
Dunaway
No,
Dunaway
don't
sent
give
one
it-
and she sent
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
So one of them's
POVs.
from
No, I saw yours where he's talking to other people,
players.
and then Dunaway's chasing him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But see, the thing about, and I'll let you get to how he smelt. The thing about his deodorant is you could go to like a Whole Foods and get one of these deodorants that doesn't have all the
Like
chemicals
chemicals.
in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, I agree. I mean, someone asked me, I didn't know the stigma around
Right.
him and his smell. I said, it just smelled like sweaty boys because you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. I mean,
you
you're
got
outside. He's got on a long sleeve
Exactly.
shirt. Yeah.
players
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the field.
yeah.
So I mean, I can't concur with.
But he smelled like a sweaty guy.
Well, but he was
I mean-
around players who had just played.
Right.
Someone
I think.
did.
I can't say I'm speculating.
Yeah, see, I've heard he smells like really bad BO.
That's
That is the rumor.
disgusting.
That is-
Stop Matthew McConaughey.
I
That's
bet he's watching
disgusting.
too, little
Hey, you
thing.
know
Sorry.
what? He has no problem smelling like bad BO.
Because
But-
his wife is beautiful.
Yeah, there's somebody that's going to put up with that BO.
and
I
it's-
wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
Wow.
But she
Abuse
does.
for that money.
I don't care. I don't care. I'm not a gold digger.
Yeah,
Little
I'm
T,
not.
a gold digger. All right.
Okay.
Okay, well, back in my Tank Bixby
Yeah.
story.
Yeah.
He
Oh,
walked-
sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, to the point. He walked by me in Taco Mama, and I was like, man, that guy smells good. And but to me, it was Tank.
Okay.
So
Robin-
Tank smelled better than Matt McConaughey.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tank Bixby smells better
Okay.
than Matthew McConaughey.
That's a compliment.
That
to
is-
take pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we should get him on.
It wasn't Body Axe, was it?
Oh God.
No, it smelled. It smelled expensive.
Okay.
Yeah.
It
Uh-oh.
smelled expensive.
Smelled expensive. All right.
Maybe he has
Good.
an NIL with some cologne. I don't know.
He's got enough money to buy some cologne for
I
himself.
know. He's got. All right. To wrap us up, Baltimore at Cincinnati, noon CBS. Cincinnati is a 3.5-point favorite, and the total is 46. Like I do have half of the Bengals on my fantasy team.
This
Uh-oh.
to me seems like the easiest game on the board.
Ooh.
0 chance Cincinnati's going to play that bad back-to-back weeks. They're too good.
I like Baltimore.
Oh.
Well, I love Joe Burrow. I just think Baltimore is going to end up winning the AFC. Watching them last week, they didn't have their full complement of weapons. J.K. Dobbins is out. That's going to be big. Mark Andrews should be back. And you start to look around. Odell Beckham, although he didn't put up big numbers, he was an impact because he drew a lot of penalties. So I think Baltimore goes on the road here. I think they win the game. They go to 2-0. Cincy drops to 0-2, but they still bounce back and make the postseason.
What were you
Mhm.
saying today? That is it? They play their best football later in the
They do.
season.
Yeah, I mean,
so
watching them the last couple of years, they've had slow starts in September and October, and they play
Right.
their best football November, December, going into January.
so they dropped this one, but they're not down and out.
No, not at all.
Okay.
Awesome job, EG. Thank you.
you.
Good
Thank
job.
you,
Yeah,
guys.
great job. Great job.
Thank
All right.
you.
Bud Light Game Night. Let's do two things here. We'll tell them about Bud Light Game Night and Lance'sLock.com. We will still be hanging out here a little bit. The games are on. Navy has scored. It
Well, this is
about
good.
to be tied at 7.
Because your free play tonight was the over in Navy. Got a long way to go. The total's 47.5, but it looks like a extra point pending. This could be 14 points halfway through the first quarter.
2 possessions, 2 scores, by the way.
Yeah, we like that. So we've got the over
Hey.
there. That was your free play.
And you know what's good for a Navy over? A long touchdown run.
Right.
Because they can grind out some possessions at Navy.
But we've got side and total tonight of the Minnesota-Philadelphia game. Jump on board, Lance'sLock.com. Again, daily packages, weekly, monthly, annual. Love for you to try us out, Lance'sLock.com. And, of course, our friends at Bud Light, $3 long necks. We're going to be doing this each and every week. Next week, we're at the grocery in Homewood.
Love the
hello.
grocery.
That's our first stop there, right?
It is our first stop there, and they're doing a wild game cook-off.
While we're there?
Yeah.
Wow. Are you
Inside?
participating?
Yeah. I don't know if I
Wait.
will be. Brown's a veteran at this. I've done it one time.
I've done it before. I've judged numerous wild game cook-offs.
This is your time that we could get that rabbit that you think that you can kill.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's let.
I got
let
I got not one but 2 Vizslas out.
no,
Well,
that's
no,
not,
no. That was not part of the
dogs.
conversation.
No, I'll get them to bring it out of the brush and then I'll pop it.
We need to get a rabbit loose in the parking lot and see if LT can catch it.
I
Yeah.
can't catch it.
You shoot it.
Hey, do you know this? Joe Milton, I read an article on him this week that he used to chase rabbits when he was in high school.
Who was that other player that used to? There was
Wait,
another
why?
player.
Janoris
Speed and
Jenkins.
agility?
Jackrabbit.
Yeah,
Or-
Jack
Yeah.
Rabbit Jenkins.
But they said Joe was really good because he's a lot more mobile than you think. He's got long arms, and he stopped doing it because one time he was chasing one, and it was running towards a pond, and it jumped to get away from him. Alligator takes it out of the air and eats it.
Oh,
True
I
story.
feel like that's probably not a true story, kind of.
oh, I think it's a sign for Saturday night's game, though.
It might be a little gator
Yeah,
action.
Yeah, little gator
There we
action.
go.
Yeah, Gator. All right, that's going to do it. Thank you to Tin Roof here in Lakeview. Come swing by. Bud Light going to hang out here a little bit. We got some NFL and college coming up here at Tin Roof. We are back with you 9 o'clock. Dunaway will be back with us from Tuscaloosa. We'll see if there's some clarification on maybe the Alabama starter if word continues to leak out of Tuscaloosa. Looks like this afternoon it's trending maybe a little bit towards Tyler Buckner is a safe way of saying it, right?
Yeah.
Trending towards him.
Again, gun to head. I'm taking number 8 to start against South Florida.
We'll have more of that. No guns to Lance's head tomorrow morning, 9
Hopefully.
o'clock. Hopefully.
We don't know what's gonna happen after this.
But we'll have more coming up 9 o'clock tomorrow morning on the next round. Thank you for joining us. Give us a thumbs up. Thank you to Lance Taylor, EG, Little T. I'm Ryan Brown, all our friends here at Bud Light and Tin Roof.